Hello everyone and welcome back to Hawthorn Vale, the latest in addition to a new Towns Act town in City Skylines 2. We're building a British town which we are hoping will resemble anything other than those god-awful American grid-style cities that you see so much on this game and in Milton Keynes if you've ever been there. But look, thank you very much for coming back to the channel. Welcome back. Today's episode, we are going to be expanding the suburbs, getting the population up and eating into this monthly balance deficit so we can kind of get a hold of our finances. Now, we do have 15 expansion squares available, but I don't really feel like we need them. Last episode, we chucked some high-density housing into this area here, which was our town centre. We've got our landfill, our industrial estate over here, our farmlands, a little bit of woodland as well, or I should say forestry. We would call it managed woodland over here. But I'm just going to increase the density of some of these areas by just adding some more streets. And there we are. I'm going to take it off pause, chuck it onto speed 3. We've just created this little district down here, which I say we've created a district. I haven't actually created the district for it yet, but we'll get onto that shortly. Great stuff. So we might just leave it to populate, maybe ensure that we have enough stuff zoned. Now we do have a little bit of commercial development coming through, so we'll chuck a bit there. We have a little bit of industrial demand coming through as well, so I see absolutely no reason to not, apart from the fact that it looks horrifically ugly, but we'll get to tidying it up and making it pretty later. Look at the state of that. That is what you would expect from a nice British town, a high street, ferrying people in and causing God knows what in terms of congestion and traffic. Right, how's the money situation looking? It's actually looking a lot worse. I don't know how that has happened, because we're only getting more people. Right, we do have an issue in our healthcare in the sense of we're pretty much maxed out on patients, so we probably want to expand this, unless it's because my budget is turned down. Services, healthcare, it is. Okay, let's turn it back up to 100%. How does that look? Well, the healthcare pop-up thingy's got away. There's another one over here. Okay, they're all good. But we are still losing money, and we still have a lot of office demand. So I'm just going to chuck some more office in around here. That'll get rid of all of that demand and see if we can claw these people in and start taxing them. That's exactly what we need to happen. But it just doesn't seem to be that people are moving in fast enough. Now I'm wondering if there's like a cheap park I could buy, like a tiny park. I don't think it looks that. Oh my word, that is tiny, isn't it? Yeah, maybe a mini park the same size. Urban parkette. Now, if I want to make this area a little bit more desirable, it's going to need a park. So we can chuck a park in there, and we can chuck a park in where is going to be appropriate. I don't want to lose too much zonable land. That's the problem. There. How does that look? I mean, it looks great, but we're still losing money. We are losing an unprecedented amount of money. We're at 13% tax rate on everything apart from offices. Let's bring that tax up. Our budget is still not quite balanced. What are we spending the most money on? No subsidies, no services. So it's all in service upkeep. So if I have a look at my services, what's the big one? Electricity. So I'm just adjusting it and looking in the background to see if there's an electricity shortage. It looks like 68%, maybe 60, 70% is the way to go. We're exporting a little bit of power. What if we put it at 100%? Are we exporting a lot more power then, or are we just increasing our costs? I think we're just massively increasing our costs. Can I get away with 110% service fee? Does that help the budget at all? It does help the budget quite substantially, actually. We are going to go bankrupt soon if I can't fix this. So it's one of those things. It is one of those things. But in terms of the actual city layout and design and the flow, it seems to be working quite well. That one roundabout seems to have considerably dropped down or decreased the amount of traffic moving through. In fact, if we get a level up shortly, we shall be in good stead. Let's have a look at the traffic flow map. Yeah, so it's looking pretty good because even the hot roads don't actually have that much traffic moving on them. They're just popular roads. How is the budget looking? 15,000 deficit still. Okie dokie, that's fine. And we just want to ensure that we're doing all we can to increase the number of people here, because the number of people is going to be directly representative of the amount of money that we make, which is our big stress at the moment. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to take a small loan of, yeah, how much do I want? Let's take 100 grand. Okay, I'm going to pause it. I'm going to purchase this single tile here. I'm going to continue this road, this medium road, through here. I want to turn on my resource view, which is here. Okay, I had that on straight. Didn't necessarily want that, but that's fine. I'm going to have to back that up and delete it. So yes, let's extend King Street. And what I want to do actually is I want to wrap around the edge. I don't know why I was attempting to go straight up the middle. And then I want to get my specialized industry down, which is going to be my ore mining. Coal mining is still going to be the one we're going to want to focus on. And we shall just maximize the amount of area we can use for coal mining here. It's a dirty industry, but we have a coal power plant, so it's dirty but necessary, unfortunately. There we are. Right now, we have coal. And what I'd like to do, I took a much bigger loan than I needed to. So what I would like to do is pay that loan back as much as possible. There we are. We're on 0, so we're actually going to go into the black. But the hope is that we will start exporting coal, and that will bring down. So at the moment, we are importing, I don't know what we were importing, but we're now exporting. We have a surplus of 23.8 tons per month, which is just fantastic. That should be reflecting on the bottom line, one would hope. Okay, great news. I was actually in the process of setting up a stone quarry because our money wasn't going into the positive as quickly as we'd like, but we've actually had a cash injection of 125,000 for hitting the rank of tiny town. So I think, oh, and the lobster tail as well, which is nice, a nice unique building. So I'm just going to get finished setting up this quarry, which gives us another, it says colossal ore, but it's definitely a quarry. I definitely hit the quarry button. Stone mining. Yeah, that's stone mining. This one, I can't tell now by looking what it is. But okay, fine. I mean, I guess the only way to check really is to look at production. And yes, we are now removing stone and exporting it. If we look at the budget, it has had a marked impact, but nowhere near brought to us level. We're still losing 10 grand a month. So we're going to need to do something about that. And I think the solution is just going to be, I mean, I was going to say build more suburbs, get more people into tax, but our suburbs are not filling up as quickly as one would like or expect. So I believe we're going to throw up a radio mast which transmits mobile data, radio traffic and TV signal. Yes, that does cover quite a lot of the town, doesn't it? Which is great. I think we shall throw it on this main arterial there. These cost 25 grand a pop, so at the moment it's just populating that part of the city. That may make it more desirable to move in, one would hope. And maybe the other thing that we need is a small post office, which is 75,000. Now, you would have a small post office in the UK in almost every single little estate, really. Now, 75,000 in every estate, that's going to be 300,000 for 600,000, 600,000 or something. No, yeah. 300,000 for those two, 300,000 for those two. Yeah, that's a lot of money. Probably one in the industrial area as well. Our retail park should be on the outskirts of town. Now, having a riverside retail park isn't that crazy. We can absolutely imagine our town having one. It's just it wouldn't be common. So this retail area here should not be thought of as common. In fact, I like that little curve. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring two 90-degree roads off, if I can get the angles correct. Like so, and I think I'm just going to link these up. If I came up at 90 degrees here, like that, and then I'll just delete that bit. That is not a bad shape. Really like their straight lines, looking at that, thinking that is god-awful. And you know what? You'd probably be right. Now, we don't really have the types of shops here that would be famous on a retail park. However, I think we can kind of make it work, kind of intersect the main parts of the retail park. In fact, that does need to go into there. Now, this would be the greatest place in the world to throw some high-density commercial. But this Dragon Gate low density I've never seen before. Create your bustling shopping district infused with Chinese iconography. The zone provides your city with low density business. That sounds fun. I'm just going to chuck the commercial in here for the time being, just to fill it up. We've got no demand for anything, so I'm guessing all of our zoning has been zoned to a level where if anybody wants anything, they can just move in immediately. So I think it would be all too reasonable to continue to sprout off these roads of industrial estate like so, and we will continue to develop these areas up and do whatever we can to get some taxable revenue into the city. What's that looking like now? Well, actually, considering we've dropped our tax rate to 10% and our budget deficit is only 23,000, that's okay. I can kind of live with that. It's not ideal, but it's going down a lot less than it was. We're having some electricity problems, so we're going to have to once again increase. We're going to drop it up another 4%. Water problems now. See if that's just because of the electricity problems. Okay, let's try pumping our electricity up to 100%, which is going to have another knock-on effect on our budget. That doesn't seem to have solved any of our electricity problems. Is it just this power plant is now no longer sufficient? Is there somewhere where I can see that? All right, I think it was actually a water problem, because once I increased the water, everything was fine. But we're now making a significant loss once again. So yeah, still desperate for people to move in. We seem to have a lot of traffic over here, but I'm guessing that's because of these high-density buildings. Everyone's just moved in, and this is like literally the only way into this estate. I may link this road up, to be honest. No one's living there at present. And am I reading this correctly? It seems we're in the black. We're making money. That is fantastic. That is fantastic news. We just had a spike of industrial demand that just dropped down massively. And we can continue to help that by expanding our industrial estate. But I don't think we need to right now. Although saying that, this is the first time that we've made money. I don't really want to cock it up. So let's just add a couple of extra roads off of this industrial estate here, like so. And we'll just throw in a bit more industrial there. That should sate demand somewhat. We're all good. And we're actually, wow, we're making 60,000 a month now. That is fantastic. Where is that money coming from? So it looks like it's coming from taxes, which is great. Seems my plan paid off. Lower the taxes and bring more people in. So it looks like power station cannot produce enough electricity to match current demand. So we are about to go into debt again because we require more power. Now I looked at wind power at the start of this playthrough, and it seems that there is no wind here. Now what this does mean is that we might have to bring in a transformer station, which should really belong in the industrial zone, like so. That was actually a terrible place for it, so let's move it onto this road. We need to link it up to the high voltage network. Now that should allow me to import power, which might temporarily be cheaper than producing power. Right, yes, so we are importing 4,200, which is certainly cheaper than purchasing another small coal power plant or the equivalent, which provides only 20 megawatts, but has an upkeep of 5 to 45,000 pounds. Do you know what I could do while I'm here is I could just make sure all of my services are on 100%, like so. Garbage management, education, that's not great being that low. I wonder if this is going to put me back into making a loss. I suspect it might be. Yep, now the budget is now no longer balanced, so we're certainly going to take advantage of getting some more industrial going. Let's expand this industrial estate here, like so. Seems we have a very high demand for industrial because it just gets built up immediately, which is great for us. It means there's people in our city that require industrial jobs, which is kind of a double-edged sword because they don't tend to be the highest educated employers. They have a... Does it tell you? It used to tell you on City Skylines 1 how many employees they required. This one doesn't. That's a shame. I was hoping for a level of granularity that may just not be available anymore. It's a bit sad. Oh, here we go. Employees. Yeah, okay, it is still here. 24 out of 30 uneducated, 9 poorly educated. That's the entire workforce of 39 employees. So yeah, the education requirements are not high, which reflects badly on us, but also, you know, people are taxable, which is great. We're actually making a profit again, even boosting all of our services back up to 100%. We have no loans. Taxation is at a standard level of 10%, which is brilliant. I'm going to leave it there to keep drawing more people in. This industrial estate is going to shrink. This is going to move. The power plant is going to move. These natural resources things, they may actually end up staying, but a lot of these things are going to move. These high-rise buildings here will probably stay, but these row homes here will move because we need to smooth out the terrain. So it's all a work in progress. And that work in progress is probably going to pay off now because we're starting to make a decent amount of money, 160,000, which is fan-flipping-tastic. More industrial demand coming through. So it's probably time that we expanded across the river. And look, that's going to be the perfect place to leave it for this episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed listening to me waffle once again about building a replica New Towns Act town in the UK style. I think we're starting to achieve that. There's obviously a lot of parts of this town that aren't going to make the final edit, but just exist at the moment for us to make a profit, so we can start investing in other stuff. But you're kind of starting to get the feel of it. You've got the town centre over here, you've got the rural farmland and the industrial land over here. Here's your industrial estate, here's your retail park, here's some more suburb. It's all starting to make a bit of sense. Don't really know how we're going to expand this central area, because really this should be high density living. This should be then moving out to medium density living and low density and what have you, and another combination of high streets and all that jazz, which means that the industrial park does need to shrink and the landfill needs to go, but that is a problem for the next episode. So thank you so much for watching. Popping up on your screens now will be some other videos I hope you enjoy. Please do check them out, and I will see you in the next episode.